So in the past, Dr. Frankenstein had a bride, and then the monster got a bride, but here, you're the scientist.
Yes, I am. I'm sort of a modern day Victor Frankenstein in this movie. I did read the novel for a bit of inspiration because it does offer us, I mean, it's the main inspiration for all these Frankenstein movies that have ever existed, and definitely the springboard for ours as we fast forward into the present day, into this world that we're creating with, it's a whole different take on Frankenstein than anyone's ever seen.
Here you're the brains, but on Chuck you were the muscle. Did you give Aaron any tips for his action sequences?
No, no, I don't think he needed any. He seemed to have a good handle on that. But yeah, it is really nice to change it up. I was a little envious of all the fight scenes and everyone getting to do all the fun, stunts and stuff. I mean, I did have a little bit to do in I Frankenstein, but it's nice to change it up. Come from Chuck, having done all of that, and then play a different character.
Well, you said you read the novel to prepare. Is it scary how little has changed since the 1800s? Fear and discrimination against the unknown, science without regard for morality sometimes.
Yeah, it is scary. I think we live in a very scary world, perhaps even scarier than back then in the 1800s, because there is so much more potential for so many disastrous things that are happening everywhere. But that's getting a bit morbid. We can't go into that.
This is a fun movie, right?
This is a great movie.
About the movie, you're from Australia. It's shot in Australia. Australian talent in Hollywood is not something that's new. But what is new is taking Hollywood back to Australia. Hugh Jackman shot the Wolverine there. How did it feel to go back home and shoot this big movie there?
It's great. I mean, it's definitely comforting to go back to Australia. I come from there, so I get to see my parents, I get to see my friends and hang out, and I know the city really well because this was my 4th movie that I did in Melbourne. It's always more daunting when, in a week I'm off to London to shoot something, and that's very daunting because I've spent 3 days in London. I've never lived there. So there's that whole element of learning a city when you don't know it that well.